mind you can't control. Running wild, can't calm down. My head is in the clouds. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We gotta party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. For a second, make me feel like this. Make me feel like this.
Please hit that thumbs up as you're rolling in. Late night with Pearl.
We gotta party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. For a second, let me feel like this. Make me feel like this. I'm on my last straw. I'm broken and I'm woken up. I'm done feeding your lies. I've had enough. I can't run your place in this faulty game. And all the words you speak mean nothing more to me. 'Cause let's start over now. Rewind. And I won't let you go. I need you by my side. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. 'cause you don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown, but we both know how to swim. No worries as we'll fall now. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. I drag you out your mind, and there are days I hate you, but baby, you're still mine. And now we have the best times, no matter what we do. And even when we don't, there's nobody I'd rather choose. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. Today is August 10th, 2024, 10:49 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Hello, hello. Good to see you all. It's kind of late for me. I told you guys I would be back, and so I came back. I always feel bad if I tell you guys I'm coming back and I don't. So, what we're going to do is we are going to discuss, of course, the Sebastian Rogers case. Earlier today, we spoke about Angel Turner missing and a little girl. Her name is Marilyn. I can't think of her last name at the moment. We spoke about that earlier today. All right. So, can't believe it's already August. This year just flew by. It really has. It really has. We're going into fall. The part of the dogs CP describes is very much the same as the flashlight. Justin, I rewatched the phone call video of CP and NARC divers early in search. The path of the dogs CP describes is very much the same of the flashlight video. Have you watched? Yes. Yes, I have. I have. I think it's very interesting how Chris still um says that they got a scent of Sebastian whenever there has been no scent of Sebastian. But I think he, in my opinion, he may do that to make it seem, in my opinion, how Sebastian may have left the house, which we know that there is no evidence of that, right? Reality wins. Thank you, my sweet dear, for 5 continuous months. I'm so proud. It's my grandson's 16th birthday today, everyone. Please give it up for Reality Wins. Grandson, 16th birthday. I think from my years to, up until 18, probably my 16, 16 was good. That was a good year. You know what I mean? For me at least. So, um, up until 18. So enjoy it. Enjoy it. All right. So we're going to get started. Authorities, whenever they are looking at the family system, right? I believe narc divers put out a Sebastian. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Um, they have to get the victimology, and they have to get uh everyone that is around the person that has gone missing, right? And so, in my opinion, in this case, there are clear indications that, so, you know, overall, one second, overall, Sebastian is relative, actually very low on the um on his can't think of the name right now. His overall risk factor of something happening to him, right? Um live in a good neighborhood, right? Um people in that area is well to do, which well to do has not necessarily make your, I mean, it really does, I guess, at the end of the day, because you have more resources when you are upper middle class, right? Um, but there were things happening recently in this case where, in my opinion, raises the factors significantly, right? And so I wanted to go over some of these things in our study session today. In my opinion, he was very high because he lived with a step parent. Well, I mean, living with, I mean, it's step parents raises the risk slightly, but that doesn't, you know, 50% of Americans divorce, right? So it doesn't really raise it that significantly. Overall, it does raise it some. Uh, there is, Katie has a history. Her family has a history. But she doesn't have any crimes in her family. I think Justin looked old enough to be a grandpa. Oh, I'm not a grandpa. I'm not a grandpa yet. Not yet. um, but Chris doesn't have any uh violent charges, but just because you don't have any violent uh charges doesn't mean there's not violence in the family, right? Now he does. I call CP a serial matrimoniist. That's that's what I call him, because he has been married several several times, and we'll get to that in just a moment. So what I'm doing here is I thought we could create, uh, and I kind of started on this um, a little bit. So CPKP, we obviously know who that is. Um, things that could be contributing factors, because this is very, very important. Things that, you know, um, any marriage, any relationship, there are highs and lows, right? There are things that happen, and that can obviously raise risk factors for stresses being in the house, right? And particularly if you are the type that doesn't deal with stress as well, that can really hinder the family system, if you will. Debbie 357, my dear. Really appreciate. Um, Thank you so much, my dear. If you received that pearl necklace, please thank our beloved Debbie. Debbie, thank you so much for your support, keeping my little channel going. Uh, Talking about as he's not going. I don't think anybody's going home. Poor boy. I'm trying to go away for a while, because if you don't want to pay attention to it, then Patricia, I don't understand what you're meaning, my dear. I apologize. That stuff was taken a while back. I thought they have not returned it. Not returned what? Louise, thank you, my dear. Really appreciate your support. Thank you. When Brooks last night, she went over the old interviews with police, and it was unveiled that the very same day that they charged the case investigation. Yes, yes, Elisa. Yeah, I have said that many, many times. Uh, the very day, that they stop the searches, minimize the searches, if you will, that that is the very day Chris and Katie starts. What do? They suddenly start doing their first interviews. How interesting. How interesting, right? You would think you would start, I don't know, at like hour 1 of trying to get in front of any camera or possible, to let the world know that your son is missing, but they don't do it until day 7 or 8 or so. Kimberly, my dear, thank you so very much for your support. Really do appreciate that, my dear. Thank you for keeping my little channel going. Really appreciate that. Joe, thank you, my dear. Really do appreciate you as well. Thank you for gifting a pearl necklace. If you received that pearl necklace, please thank our sweet Joe. Really do appreciate you. Thank you, Holly. Really do appreciate it. Oh, someone made you green, Preppy. That's awesome. Congratulations. Thank you so much. All right, so let's look at there's Mally Cat. Thank you, Mally Cat. Thank you, dear. Y'all were so nice to me. Really do appreciate it, my dear. Thank you so much. And they got one here to mess the case up. Well, I think that, in my opinion, I don't know if it I think that once they started, saying, we're gonna start looking because there's really no evidence of Sebastian leaving the home on his own accord at all. There is nothing other than there is a missing child. That's it. There is evidence of a disappearance. There is not evidence that he walked away on his own. There is not evidence that he was abducted in any way, shape, or form. If there was evidence that he, walked off on his own, then there would be a scent. Then there would be something on camera. There would be an article of clothing. There would be something, right? And, there's been, people from, that's, uh, supported uh the the Proudfoots and all of that, that says, well, there's no evidence of anything. And my argument for that is that's the problem. That's the problem. That's the entire problem of this. Because when someone walks away, there is some sort of evidence, meaning there's a scent, right? They were seen on camera somewhere, right? There is an article of clothing. They left a note, right? They took their shoes. They took their phone. They took something, but we don't have that. We don't have that. So when people says, "Well, there's no evidence of anything." Exactly. That's the problem. That's the big problem in this. Because there should always be something that says that he walked away on his own accord. Holly, thank you so much, my dear. Welcome to the Pearl family. Pearls look amazing on you, Holly. Appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Y'all, please welcome our newest Pearl, Miss Holly. Thank you so much, Holly. Really do appreciate it. He wasn't a runner. And, Christine, that's another thing. It's interesting that Chris and Katie, which Chris says he wasn't there, but he, what he does, they kind of box their own way in as well, right? Because they say the door was locked, right? The door was locked. All the doors were locked. He didn't take his shoes. He's not a runner. So basically, they're telling the truth. They are telling the truth right there. They're not being deceptive by any sort in by what they're saying there. They're actually telling the truth. Oh my God, Little Red, thank you so much, my dear, for gifting 10 pearl necklaces. That is amazing. Thank you so very much, my dear. I really do appreciate that. If you received one of those pearl necklaces, please thank our Little Red. You guys are amazing to me. Can't ever thank you enough, truly. Jan, thank you so much for 3 months, my dear. Really do appreciate that as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is so sweet. And Jan, thank you for 3 continuous months. You guys keep me here, and I appreciate it. Hey, Twisted, good to see you. So, you know, that's the thing. Very sweet of you, Lorette. Thank you. Yes, pretty. They very, very amazing people. Got the best. Promise. Really do. Um, so, ooh, what I do? Okay. What did I do? Okay. Okay. Sorry. Okay. I thought I messed my whole thingy up here. All right. So, like I said, they kind of they are telling the truth. And I think in a sense they have to tell the truth because if KP was going to say, for instance, that Sebastian was an avid outdoors person who loved to, wrestle and play in the mud, uh, that Seth would be like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Right? That's not going to fare well, and that's going to make it look it's kind of damned if you do either way. It would look bad either way because, like I said, if KP was like, "Oh well, Sebastian loved to play in the mud and went barefooted everywhere." Again, Seth would be like, "What the hell are you talking about? What the hell are you? What do you mean? He would never do something like that." But also saying that he didn't like the mud, which is true, right? He didn't like to go without shoes, which is true. He didn't like the dark, which is true. They're all telling the truth on that, but it doesn't bode well with what they are claiming is that a 15-year-old autistic boy left when it was cold or cool outside with no shoes, not a jacket, nothing. So either way, it doesn't match with the story. Something, you know, it should go kind of effortlessly hand in hand with their story. It should make sense, right? It should make sense, right? No sin outside of Sebastian's house. Exactly. And that's the problem right there, right? You're saying that he walked out on his own accord, but there's nothing to suggest that at all. At all. Right? Especially for someone who doesn't like to be outside, doesn't like to be, you know, getting dirty, doesn't like the loud sounds, right? Doesn't like the unknown, right? Doesn't like to be cold. Um, where would he go? Tell me that. Where would Sebastian go? Right? And I've told you guys this before. Sebastian, anybody for that matter, but specifically a child, they're going to take the road of least resistance, right? They're not going to run straight into the woods. They're not going to do that because he's barefoot. That's going to be extraordinarily uncomfortable for him. Very uncomfortable. Yeah, in the middle of the night in February with perhaps um a keychain style flashlight that Seth says didn't even work. Um, Justin, Katie giving the dog clothing to find a scent didn't have a scent because those clothings are not the ones he wore to the Texas. Um, well, it wasn't just clothing. They did give them shoes as well, right? I mean, you know, law enforcement is going to say what they have to say, right? They're going to say what they have to say, uh, whatever they feel is best for the case. It's not what you or I or anyone thinks outside of the case because they are doing what they feel is best for the case. We may not feel it being best for the case. I think it's ridiculous that TBI doesn't uh that they are so close to the vest that in my opinion it does them hindrance. They rarely ask if you've seen this person or this car here in this certain hours. They don't do that. They rarely clear anybody. They rarely name suspects. And to me, it puts pressure on when someone knows they're a suspect even more, right? It puts that much more pressure on them. They know they're being watched. And what happens when someone gets nervous? What happens? They screw up even more, right? Um, so, you know, there's all of that. There's all of that. Justin I was rewatching old interviews. Seth said that the last time he saw Sebastian was 2 weeks before the weekend he went missing, and he was supposed to have him that weekend. And let me tell you something. You guys know I support Seth 1,000%. I know the man is innocent. But what I will say about Seth is sometimes he will, and it doesn't um help in my opinion. I always try to give constructive criticism. Um, Sometimes he will say something in this interview, but he'll say something in this interview, and they just don't jive. Now, again, there is a lot of people that will do hours and hours and hours of a stream on Seth, and they have every right to do that. But it does nothing to find Sebastian, right? He may contradict himself in a bunch of areas on what Sebastian likes or dislikes or whatever. And he may say something in this one or even in the same interview, but the man is innocent. He's innocent. And what he, uh, you know, the questions of could he have done this better? Could he have done that better or whatever is really irrelevant now because the only thing we need to know really is that the man is not involved in his son's case. He loves his son more than anything in the world. I guarantee you that. That's his only son. And he is out there doing anything he can to find his son. So, whether I like that he said this or didn't like it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter because we know where he was, and like I said, every creator's got the right to, speak about whatever on this case, but if you're really in it to learn about things related to finding Sebastian, when you are sitting there with Seth, talking about the woulda, shoulda, couldas, it does nothing. It will do nothing to locate Sebastian, get more clarity. It's just going to do nothing. Um, so there's that. Um, I'm not sure. And yes, he was old enough to be alone at his father's. Maybe a question for KP at the same time. Well, I mean, he was alone until Katie got home too. You know what I mean? That is, it is distractions, Hatters. It really is. Um, you know, parents have to work nowadays, right? And not every, if your, kid is old enough and, you know, a lot of kids are home alone. Uh, I'm sure that they, rather wish they weren't, but, especially in summertime, and if parents have to work on the weekends, that's, where we are living in right now. It takes every bit of two incomes, working class incomes to make it, and that's barely making it, you know. Um, so who confirmed that Seth was at work, and why don't they confirm Chris was at work? Well, that's a good question, Pamela. That's a very good question. There is people who speak. There's Elisa. Do you remember, or Mohawk? I don't know if Mohawk is in here right now. Uh, they're like private investigators. They say they spoke to Chris's boss and that he was there at 5:15. I don't know. You know what I mean? The cameras and Chris was at work on Sunday night. You mean sun well, no, it would be Monday morning. It would be Monday morning, wouldn't it? Some creators do hours on Seth, others do hours on the prod. It's their own prerogative. Yeah, and it is their own prerogative, Vivian. And I mean, it's to me, it's more like what you're. I think that there's like true crime, and then there's trauma. I hate that word, to be quite honest with you. Trauma. It's more of like what is happening with the drama around the case. You know what I mean? Like Seth or Chris said this, or Katie said this, or one was doing this. And it's not so much about trying to find out where Sebastian is. It's more of just the news and the drama around it. Do your thing, whatever. But I'm here for to do what I can um in trying to understand better myself, try to help others um understand. And that's, the drama and stuff, they can keep it. You know, we are true crime. True crime, and that's it. Um so I don't care if Chris has um a GoFundMe or a Cash App. I don't care if Katie does. I don't care if Seth does. I don't care. People who want to donate to them, donate. When you give, you give. When I gave to Seth, I gave it to him, and God knows whatever you need it for, use it for. That's me though. That's just me. So um you think I'm muted? I don't think I'm muted. I really don't think I'm muted for sure. Uh, yeah, me either, Lisa. So tax time is going to suck for Seth, though, in my opinion. Actually, it's not. It's not because when you are gifted um something, it is not taxable. It's not taxable when it's like that. So um I just don't care what someone does out. The thing I care about is just finding Sebastian. There is a child. There's a lot of children out there right now who are being abused, who are being neglected, who are in the woods alone, deceased. Think about that. It breaks my heart, breaks my heart to think that people just throw in their lives, people out there in someone's mother's life and just throws them in a landfill, throws someone's father in a landfill, so throws someone's brother, aunt, uncle, child. I don't care what someone does with whatever I don't care about the trauma. It just means nothing to me. It just means zero. Um, so I just can't stand the thought of it, to be quite honest with you. And so that's why we have to stay on the path of doing what we think is right. Um, I can't either, Emily. I can't either. I can't either. It just breaks my heart. All right. Yeah, focused. So we know that I'm working on this chart here. GLB, that is what I do. When I give to whoever, I give with the best intentions that they are going to use it. However, if they say they're going to use it for one thing, I give the best intention that they're going to, but I give it and I give it freely, and God knows the rest. Um, me too, Tar. Hey, Brenda. You are green. Oh, shit. I'm green. um, no, Seth is Seth did nothing when it comes to the reason why Sebastian is missing. You couldn't have a better alibi. You couldn't. Um, CP and KP were having. Thank you, Mara. We're having relationship trouble, right? Allegedly. Thank you, country girl. And this is things that could contribute or cause stresses on the family system, things that were happening that could, not saying it did, but could play a role into the disappearance of Sebastian. How much? We've been live like 46, about 36 minutes. That both Katie and Chris were having. Nicole, um I have heard about that Katie was, but I've heard, well, that woman that she was um like a waitress for Chris, and they gave him a nickname there, and I think he allegedly asked for a number, but I don't think she kind of reciprocated very much. All written in the stars. I'm so sorry, my dear. So relationship trouble, right? Now, obviously, this is Katie's second marriage. This is Chris's fifth, right? Even if you went with KP and CP did nothing, what stuff is there that proves they didn't do anything? In my opinion, there's nothing. From how they acted and what they have done have made them look bad. Yes. Yes. It doesn't help, right? It doesn't help, right? So relationship trouble. Now, obviously Chris hasn't um doesn't have a really good rap sheet when it comes to uh marriages, right? Definitely not. I mean, to be married 5 times over a 20-year period, just say starting at 20, and he's what, 41? Something like that. So, Tina, there is. Yes, and we'll get to that for sure, because I want you guys to name some. This is a working uh, study session. So this is what we do. We bounce things off. Um, we do speculate here, um, and try to have what we call working theories. They are just that. They are theories. It doesn't mean it happened. Um, and it doesn't mean that anyone is guilty. These are just our opinions, and mine and chats are working theories on what could have uh, allegedly played a role, but in no way are we saying that it is. Justin, do you remember early on in the case, KP had a guy in the neighborhood she was allegedly seeing? Did anything ever come of it? There is, um, so let me first state that Katie um, has denied that. Uh, so I want to put that first and foremost. Katie has denied that there was any extramarital affairs or anything like that going on. One of the neighbors said that she didn't know of anything going on. However, it was a rumor, and I don't know of any names. But in the very beginning, I did have people come to me, and uh locals who said that they thought that that was the rumor, but she has denied that. Um, and it was allegedly supposed to be someone in the neighborhood, and most people there are married. So I think you don't want to like out. I don't know. I just wouldn't want to like out another person. I don't know. That's just me. Especially if they have a family. So on Facebook, I mean, could have, it could be just something that is absolutely made up. I don't know. I don't know. So that's all I say is I don't know about that. But um Chris, on the other hand, he is, the seems to think he's the cat's meow, and he has allegedly given his phone number to others um while being married. Chris and Katie deny that they were not together um while Seth was married to Katie. Um, you can, kind of believe what you want on that. I think there is some interesting timing on that, right? So anyway, I think so, Little Red. Personally, on that one, I absolutely think so. But they deny it, so just have to put that out there, right? Um, what in the world does anyone see? I don't know how CP ever got Nina, to be quite honest with you. But you know, so relationship, alleged relationship trouble. Um, what was causing? What could be some of the contributing factors? I do too, Lisa. Hey, Jilly. What were some of the contributing factors that can cause not just relationship trouble for CP and KP, but anyone really. Um, so this one is, in my opinion, probably one of the top factors as far as CP and KP. In my opinion, let me know what you guys think. The recent and previous CPS visits, right? It is a big no no in the military. Big no no in the military. Um, and they were as recent as um less than a month before Sebastian went missing, right? Um, there was one call on Katie, allegedly, from what we understand, two on Chris, allegedly, and of course, after Sebastian missing, many times they will obviously contact um, children's services. Now, another contributing factor is kind of um, it's very well possible, Vivian, very well possible. Another kind of overlapping speculation, but has been kind of a long-standing speculative theory that CPS, can remove what they call the alleged perpetrator, right? The alleged perpetrator is someone that is alleged to have been um, abusing or causing some sort of um, mental, physical, emotional stress, trauma, harm. So CPS removing normally a parent. Now, that is a twofold, very, very stressful thing, right? Because for different reasons, right? And um it can change the income of the family, right? By one parent or one provider, um, caregiver, guardian removed, right? And just because they're alleged perpetrator, it doesn't mean that they are doing something wrong. It just means that they are going to be removed until they can figure this out, right? So, and it is speculation into the case we're talking about today, but it is interesting, kind of I think the reason it's been such a long standing theory in this case is because of a um Chris and Katie tells us that they have had a few visits from CPS, right? And that also holds kind of some weight there. But also what in my opinion holds the weight is CP saying he hasn't been there since February 5th. Well, you can say to me, well, you know, sometimes people don't go home for 3 weeks or a month or, whenever they can. True. No argument on there. However, it's not like he lived, you know, on the other side of the country. He was staying 3.5 hours away. We know that he did, with his words, say that he came home multiple times in January. But when Nancy or anyone would ask him, what days were you home from the 5th to up until the morning Sebastian went missing, he would say, those are things that I can't tell you, that law enforcement has told me not to say. And we know that law enforcement doesn't advise um, things what you should or shouldn't say. They're never going to do that. Law enforcement simply will not tell you. They won't tell you, because the moment they tell you something, they might as well have told the rest of the planet. That's why law enforcement is so secretive. They will never advise you. That is what an attorney is for. Law enforcement will say, please don't say this, right? They are just not going to simply tell you. Now, if there is there should be no reason why a grown man couldn't tell you when he was home in his own home that he pays a payment for, right? That he works very hard for, that should have nothing to do with the disappearance of Sebastian, right? Should have nothing to do with Sebastian. Now, in my opinion, the reason that he doesn't state this is because he doesn't want to tell us when he may have been home or in the Hendersonville area. Now, no one has asked him the question, Chris, have you been in Hendersonville after the 5th up until February 26th? If so, please tell me the dates. That may change. He may say, well, yeah, I can tell you I've been to Hendersonville. And that may tell us a little bit more whether he was not supposed to be there at the home or not. One second, I need a drink. That as well. Where was that comment? Someone said, yeah, because that would have made him more of a suspect, Tasha did. And yes, that that would potentially make him look not so great, right? So we have the relationship trouble. We have the CPS recent and previous. And then we have the speculative removal of a parent also not telling us the dates. Next, we have custody battles, right? And obviously, Chris has a daughter. Please don't use her full name, even her first name in chat. Just please use, like, something else. I just, don't write out her whole name, please. But custody battles. Now, Chris's child is what, 6 years old? I agree, Drew. Yeah, that's right. She's what, 5 or 6 years old? Now, there has been a long-standing custody, bitter custody battle in Chris trying to get custody. Yeah, just put F. Yeah, that's fun. But there's been a long, really bitter custody battle between Chris and Nina. So that can put a lot of stresses on a family, right? It can put emotional stress. It can put financial stress, right? Any other kind of stress that you guys can think about, please chime in. There are so many things that we don't know in this case. Of course, yes. Yep. And the major one is, where is Sebastian? Turn 7. Okay. Thank you, Fundaski. Yes, there was, Sharon. There was. There was two on Chris, um, allegedly in Tennessee, and then one on Katie. Yeah, court is stressful in general, but a custody battle it's an emotional stress, it's a financial stress, and my grandmother used to tell me better make sure who you procreate with. Yeah, sometimes we're all here for a reason, but that's true. That's true. This is the exact same crap Letitia Stout pulled her mistake with, talking about blood and hiding the car. Yeah. CP probably had loads of resentment at Sebastian. Well, so we can, what we can expand on this a little bit is um we can for instance, we can continue this, and with that CPS battle, um there was uh CP uh uh wanted wanted uh Sabat uh move with dad, right? So we can, with that, we can put this kind of, it paints a more clear picture. um so there's a custody battle. Now with that custody battle came CP stating that he didn't want, what? He didn't want Sebastian to be living with them because of his daughter, Faith, right? They were less than a month from getting rid of Sebastian officially with no issue. Why would they try to disappear him? Well, that's a good question. Um, in my opinion, in my opinion, someone snapped. Um, but again, it could be something like, hold on one second. It could be something like, there's been a long theory. I'm not sure I agree with the theory, but people have said, well, Sebastian could have, uh, had to speak to someone, like, someone related with the courts. They could have him talk to, for instance, they could get like a child psychologist and ask, if, CP, if he was scared of CP, or if there was ever any type of, alleged abuse or anything like that. So, Justin, did you hear about the 6-year-old boy who was stapled to a wall and abused till he was? No, Cindy, I didn't. Jesus. No, it was 6 days. Well, hold on. It was a week. I think it was a week to the day Sebastian went missing. That their court date was the next week. In my opinion, Sebastian was going to tell SR everything when he moved in with him. Okay. So, let's just build out a little bit more on this theory. I want to hear from you guys though. All right. See, so Chris, by his own, words, said, he wanted Sebastian to move in with his dad. And I think we need to make this another one that didn't want daughter to live with Sebastian. Okay. All right. All right. So let's build out a little bit from this. Yes, guys, please hit that thumbs up. Would greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it because the little boy looked out the window in the cage and they put him in and they saw the other kids play. Well, March 5th was to be the court date. Yes. All right. So he didn't want CP wanted Sebastian to move with his dad. Didn't want his daughter to live with Sebastian. Okay. Maybe Chris was trying to get Sebastian to move in with Seth because he felt like he was going to snap and possibly did. Interesting. Interesting. So, all right. Tell me where we should go next in this. What do you guys think? Didn't want his daughter to live with Sebastian. Now we can go with something to the effect of he was there, why didn't he want him to live with her to live with Sebastian? Um or was there a fear of someone knowing something? I think I wonder about that as well. I wonder about that as well. A child attorney could have to talk to everybody in the family, in the houses. I mean, could there be, just resentment or even, anger that Sebastian, by those open CPS cases, could that have potentially thrown a wrench in him getting his daughter, right? Like, for instance, I'm never going to get my daughter now. Maybe he thought this for a moment. Maybe something happened. He got a call and, you know, I'm not getting my daughter. You are not keeping yours. he needs to go to Seth. I'm, he's angry. What's your thoughts? Again, guys, um, we are not saying any of this. Um, we're not saying anyone is guilty. These are just opinions, hypotheses, theories of our own thoughts, flowchart. Um, he knew he was getting her. Well, did he know he was getting her? Um, because there's no, you know, permanent custody. Um, is there any missing child case that they always look first to the parents to see if there's a reason until Sebastian comes home and there's evidence of foul play that they can't be cleared? So that's one reason, but it could also be the other two reasons and all of it combined. In my opinion, Sebastian was going to go to school that Monday and tell CP again whatever happened Friday night. It's very possible. Very possible. Does anyone remember when Chris told Seth that he had his back in that sleuth interview with the investigator? The investigator. Mm, I can tell you by the comments made by CP and Seth, there is something going on that they won't talk about. Seth was threatened CP to. This makes me think there is a ruse going on. Hmm. So you think that there is something going on that maybe none of us know? None of us know. Slumber party at Justin's. Okay, so all right, so what are we gonna add here? Maybe Sebastian was going to tell school that CP there he was not supposed to be in my opinion. Okay, so we'll add kind of to the flow chart that um perhaps this could um CPS calls could hurt um court with Chris um uh custody case. Okay. So CPS that could have potentially hurt with the custody um case. If CPS made CP leave the home, perhaps he feared it would ruin his chance of getting. Yes. Yeah. And that's more or less what we're saying here. Mona has a sleeping bag. She's ready. Rumors that SR and CP were plotting together. Well, Jesse, this is what I personally think. I think, and this is my opinion, and I'm not trying to convince anybody. Think what like I always say, you guys can think how you think. I'm not a creator that says believe like me or anything. We're bouncing. This is a study session. But I think the main factor in all of this is CP. And in my opinion, even if KP did this on her own, even if she did this on her own, in my opinion, I believe Sebastian would not be missing today if there had not been for CP. I think he was the main contributing factor. There you go, Emily. She just said it. Yep. He is the one that was in the middle, right? Speaking to Katie, pushing Katie. I don't want him here. I don't want him here. You know, he's he's trying to get me kicked out of my own house. That's his words, right? And then what is he doing? He is speaking to who? Seth. And so what happens? Was in court on the Proud Feet side. Listen, nobody is on. There is, okay, the police are not on any side other than justice. So I don't know if you're referring to Betty or whatever, the police are going to say whatever has happened, right? They're just going to say whatever they have witnessed, accounted. So, you can get records for that. It's, I'm sure. I mean, hell, they mean the restraining order. Gotcha. Um, you know, I don't think anybody's going to really know about that. I don't think you can FOIA like court restraining orders or anything like that. So, I don't think anybody would know that. So, if Seth had Sebastian right now, once they come out of hiding, he'd lose him forever. Seth, no, no. Let me tell you something. It is highly unlikely. And I pray to God in heaven that I am wrong. I would never want to be so wrong. But it is highly unlikely that he is alive. That's just the truth. That is just statistically, it just is the truth, right? There was no reason for Seth to hide him. He was getting him, right? Um, I don't think anyone has him. I think that there was, again, we're looking at these factors right here on the screen that can have real impacts on the family, right? What else was going on around or alleged to be going around to visit with the history her mom put out? Odd that CP's daughter was still allowed to visit with the history her mom put out. Um, well, I mean, so w- you know, we talk about how in the hell could a judge, let a child go visit when a child is missing from the home. And this is how is because Chris nor Katie have been named as, any named suspect. They just say that foul play is not ruled out, but they don't name them, right? Now, New Mexico specifically is very, very pro dad. Um, I think it should be pro the best, I think both parents obviously have rights as long as they're not, abusive or crazy or anything like that. But, that's what a judge has to make up. Now leaving. Just think how pissed he would be if it would be like Sebastian. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I don't know. I don't know, Tina. I don't know if it would be from another state. I don't know because they are fighting in New Mexico. So I don't know. I need to ask my girlfriend about that and see what she says. That's a good question. That's a very good question. Um, Very good question. Um, yes, they did. From what I understand, the way Boo Sheet, I didn't really watch much of it to be honest with you. Um, I think there's a lot of people with motives on a lot of sides here. But allegedly, uh, CP and KP made it seem like uh, to CPS that Seth Seth was an absentee father. That's why, because Seth, he had a right to be notified. Um, some of them, Little Red. I'm trying to. I don't want to say it because, but some of them. We all want justice. Exactly. Yes, we do. All right. It's getting too cold in here. I thought I would never say that. Um, Sebastian wanted to live with Seth, and I don't think KP wanted to keep Sebastian. She couldn't handle him anymore. So, all right. What else was going on that could be a contributing factor? Come on, guys, name some stuff. They can have prisoner transfers to state, so why not CPS? Well, that is something, JC, that, like, and this is a very big thing because I've spoke to my girlfriend about it, um, a ton, um, whenever I was working a lot on the Summer Wells case. CPS, and there needs to be a law about this, is only state. It's state by state by state. So a, a lot of families that abuse, neglect their children, um, they will not answer the door for the first few times, and then they'll get, a court order, and they'll go there, and the family has moved out. The family has moved out, and they move to a different state. And then the other state has no idea, right? So there's that. Think about this. If CP was done and wanted out, he would have to buy her out of the assets. But if she goes to prison over Sebastian, then he gets rid of her for free. Hmm. Where were KP and CP going to explain to CPS that they let Sebastian go live with Seth if CPS was under the impression Seth was an absent parent? That's a good point, Philippe. Very good point. Had to leave the home because CPS. So you really think he would want to financially keep paying for that home? So, 1 second. So, what else is going on? There is alleged what? We'll do it like this. Um, money, right? I'll just put debt, right? Debt. That's a big thing that can really, really hurt. Money usually plays a part. That has a big thing for marriages, and a lot of times, um, yes. Uh, Actually, it's very interesting you say that, Mini Panthers, because I was looking at Joe Clyde Daniels in Tennessee today, maybe yesterday, maybe today. Anyway, I was looking at him, the case, and his father allegedly unalived Joe Clyde because he snapped, right? Hold on 1 second. Let me pop this up. I've got it here somewhere. All right. So Joe Clyde Daniels, he is was a 5-year-old child from Tennessee. He was reported missing. What was it? 2000, like April 2018, I believe. Uh, it was a very big story. His father, Joseph Daniels, he confessed to unaliving him. Right. Um, he initially reported Joe Clyde as missing, leading. They did huge, extensive searches. People were volunteering. After a few days, Joe Daniels confessed of beating his son and unalived him, disposing of his remains. The motive for the crime was, uh, I believe it was, he he claimed that he was frustrated and became enraged. He claimed that he became enraged when Joe Clyde was, he was nonverbal, by the way, and was on the autism spectrum, wet the bed, and it supposedly triggered Joseph Daniels to lose control and violently beat his son until he unalived him. Now, Joe Clyde Daniels has not been found even to this day, but you know, I also think a lot of times about Joe Clyde Daniels and Sebastian, because I think of, see, I don't, I don't think three are involved. I mean, anything is possible. I just don't think it's probable. I mean, you're welcome to believe, what you want to believe, but um, they said Joe Clyde left in the dark with no shoes. Yep, yep, yep. In that sense. Now, but what I think of is the pit when Chris says this house smells like piss, right? Um, CP really, really cares about how people perceive him in the world. And we all do, and I'm not trying to like shade CP for that, because we all care to an extent about how people see us in the world, but there is variations of it as well. And to me, it's not how people perceive him and his family, uh, meaning his wife. I mean, I think he does was, Katie and stuff, but I think, in my opinion, Sebastian wasn't part of that because of, sadly, I'm just going to be blunt about it, because of he was different, right? And you hear CP say his goofy smile. I say it's radiant. I call it Sebastian's radiant smile, right? But I think it's because Sebastian was different. And if you're not like him, and you're not like the people. And to be honest with you, I think Chris got this straight from the Bowerfoots. Absolutely got this from the Bowerfoots. And I think they are really the same way. And I think if you're not like people that are like them, then you are less. It's the way I feel. We have seen so many sets of parents with one step parent unalive teenage kids this year and try to cover it up. It's been insane. It's been insane. And I think if you're not really very similar to them, then it's you know I think I mean, Nina even talks about how um her daughter and her, they are partial Native Americans, and that was different for Chris. She brought that up, and when she said that, my jaw hit the floor, like hit the floor. I was like, "Oh my god." Food withholding. Yeah. That's really bizarre. And that's a thing that we see with a lot of these cases, right? It's food withholding, or just the criticism of it. Embarrassed that his daughter is attending a Native American school. It was something like that. It was just so bizarre. Drill sergeant stepdad who is jealous of the attention the child gets. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, it's all about control. I mean, Chris said, I don't really put a time frame on him for when he can eat. Good. 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 It's she mentions how would not sleep at her parents because they lived in a trailer. Who lives in a trailer now? What is it? She mentioned how he would not sleep at her parents because they lived in a trailer. I don't know. But that's just so judgmental. You know what I mean? Just absolutely freaking judgmental. Oh, I got you. I got you. He's living in a RV trailer thing. Yeah. I got you. Never say never, people. Never say never. A narcissist must have the attention. Everything must be about them. Yep. You are absolutely right. Absolutely right. Um, there's a lot of people who, yeah, of course. I mean, don't judge someone for what they live in. I mean, you can be missing out on a hell of a lot. You're, um, I grew up poor, not ashamed of it. Um, it made me, you know, grateful. But my friend, my best friend growing up, he lived in literally a mansion, 32-room house, 32 rooms, multiple living rooms, multiple kitchens, all of that. Freaking palace. He used to come to spend the night at my house. I used to spend the night at his house growing up. It was just what it was. We never looked at each other as anything but friends. So, um, you know, um, I've always tried to, teach my kids that don't do not sit and judge someone for what they're driving, what they live in, what they look like. Um, be a gentleman in the world. Um, Someone wrote this.
Not cleared anyone, but we have absolutely no evidence to support foul play.
Though they
Not cleared anyone, but we have absolutely no evidence to support foul play.
Not cleared anyone, but we have absolutely nothing about foul play, right? Hey, Justice Janie. This is something I noticed watching this video again. I clipped it down just to this part after watching all of the deception and body language videos. I found this interesting. Watch Eric Craddock nod his head yes as he's saying they have no evidence of foul play.
though they
Not cleared anyone, but we have absolutely no evidence to support foul play.
though they
Not cleared anyone, but we have absolutely no evidence to support foul play.
Watch his eyes look to
though
the
they
right.
Not cleared anyone,
See that? Hold on, wait. Crap. Right here.
not cleared
there.
anyone, but we have absolutely no evidence to support foul play.
though they
Not cleared anyone, but we have absolutely no evidence to support foul play.
though they
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I don't think that they're trying to cover this up. But I think now, could this be good for Sebastian. I mean, not that someone died, but that Eric is the acting sheriff now. Mute number one. Number uno. Not bad for an hour and 51 minutes. Not bad. Because they haven't found evidence. Oh, I beg to differ. I beg to differ. I beg to differ. I think they absolutely have found some sort of evidence. I don't think they've found physical evidence. But I do believe that they have found digital, because that's your post, Poppy. Hey, girl. Hey. I thought that was interesting. So, when it comes to this, right? Like I've spoken, I've spoken to neighbors, okay? The people that have seen some of the videos says that it is completely obvious What's my email? Seth has had his electronics back. Yeah. People keep saying he hasn't got his electronics back. He's got his electronics back. There are caves that have caved in and can't get. Yeah, they usually use technology. Oh, good, Poppy. Thank you. And I'm Craddock, and I won't arrest my high school friend. You think so? I don't think so. I think, listen, if this man is going to run for sheriff, and I would assume he is, if he wants like something really good for re-election, I would say this would be it, because this has garnered national, worldwide attention, right? I mean, do I think, I don't know how I feel about him. You know what I mean? I really don't know how I feel about these guys. I think that I don't know. I just don't like how Tennessee yeah, I don't think I don't think Eric would be friends with someone like Chris. I just don't see it. I mean, Chris is like, he's like sugar water. He's like sugar water.
Give me sugar, water. More.
Oh, your skin is hanging off your bones.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There is Craddock. There's Mr. Craddock. Craddock. Also known as Craddock. Craddock. Crad Doc. DACA. Let's make this happen. August 24th, 2024. Share. If I could turn back time, if I could find a way, whoa. I'd take back those things that'll hurt you. Jan, did I say thank you for being a member for 3 months? Thank you, dear. Really do appreciate you. Chris McDonough always reminds us law enforcement know. Hell yes. They know a hell of a lot more. Cradock, but that's funny. If I could turn back Tam. If I could reach the stars, I'd give them all to you. Whoa. Chris M is a wealth of knowledge. Yes, he is. In fact, hold on. Let me play this while I'm trying to find something. You like my share? I don't know if you ever watched Will and Grace. Anyone ever watch Will and Grace? I'm a huge Will and Grace fan. And, Jack, he always tried to act like Cher. He'd be like, whoa. He always cracked me up. Love it. Let me find something. I'm going to play this.
Walked out of the house.
Hold on. I'm going to play. Okay. I think this is the one. Let me check something. I think this is important, but somebody said I need to set the record straight on something I can keep. Chris said he caught it. Okay. I know who wrote the one with the smaller letters. You always surprise me with your deep voice. Well. There's some. This was posted by someone in the neighborhood, and it says, I need to set the record straight on something that I keep hearing over and over again, that it is about to make me scream. The BS that Chris said he called SCSO instead of 911 because of where we live is just that. It's obviously ridiculous. He claims that because we live in the county and not in the city limits, it's easier to call SCSO so he wouldn't get transferred all over the place. Shaking my head. You can not reach an emergency personnel through SCSO number. It tells you on the automated system rather, that if you have an emergency, you must hang up and dial 911. The only person you will get if you stay on the line waiting for someone to pick up is a non-emergency dispatcher. If that dispatcher finds out you are calling for an emergency, the dispatcher will tell you to hang up and dial 911, or they will transfer you to 911 emergency dispatch. That is what I think that they did. That is what I think they did. I think that there is a 911 call, and I think that they were transferred over regardless. If he is saying he didn't want to waste time being transferred, yet that is exactly what would happen if you call SCSO for an emergency. They transfer you or ask you to hang up and call or dial 911 so the emergency dispatcher can receive your call and dispatch emergency personnel. That is closest to you at the point. The fastest approach would have been for her, meaning Katie, to call 911 as soon as she realized Sebastian is gone. I've had to call 911 after hitting a deer. It literally took me 5 to 8 minutes for emergency personnel to get to me. I've also had to call the non-emergency line. You cannot reach 911 through that number. If something were to ever happen to my kids, God, I pray that never happens. I would call my husband first to let him know. Then I know for a fact he would tell me to hang up and call 911, even if I were hysterical, because I'm the one in the area that they can trace my calls directly to my house if I am unable to talk or speak, right? This frustrates me so much that they are lying about the phone call. Y'all, this is a neighbor in that neighborhood. How about that? No, I don't think he called Craddock. I don't think he called Craddock. I think he had to have been transferred over. He was at dinner with KPSP, his sister and niece. So why the three-way call? I still don't understand. The waitress said he was at the dinner with no, 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 nope, 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 nope. No waitress said that he was at dinner that weekend. No waitress said that. Now, there was a waitress, I think a week or at some time prior, that CP, KP, and Sebastian and all of them were at a lunch or dinner or something. But I think the call to the sheriff instead of 911 was to lock in the alibi. He was located at work while on the phone, but Katie's local was not logged. Well, what I don't understand, other than them calling the 911 number, is because they either Chris wanted them to know where he was at, in my opinion, or they may have used a different type of like a VoIP phone number. Oh, thank you. I'm too honest for this. Thank you, dear. And they either wanted them to know where Chris wanted them to know where he was at, or they didn't want them to know where they was at. Now, why a three-way phone call, right? What I don't understand also is Chris saying that he was on the phone pretty much the whole time. Katie saying that Chris told her to hurry up. 911 or police were almost there. How can you not know that? You're on the damn phone, Katie, right? What the hell's wrong with these people? Hello, Shirley. We call the number only for non-emergencies. Yeah. Well, he was not in a crane. Job site was not open. But that's another thing. He says he was. Hold up. It's a chop. What's up? If you're the primary caller of a three-way hangs up, does that end the call. It does. Yes. Non-emergency lines are recorded. Girl, that's what I'm screaming. Message to Seth, 911, call me. Message to Tina, 911, call me. But they don't call 911. It's crazy. They aren't telling the truth about the phone call. So what else isn't true? There's so much stuff that we have just absolutely busted through that there is lies. There is very provable lies. So if Chris made the call, how did he only stay on the phone most of the time? What I wonder, Tori, is he can switch over and be on another call and not add the call to the 911 or to Katie. So there's that. That's right. If there are one lie, there is more. Because one lie becomes two lies, becomes a whole host of lies. I'm too honest for this. As my opinion, all the subjects don't spend their time looking over their shoulder. May your consciousness haunt you, Jiminy Crickets, in whispering in your ear. I'm too honest for this. One of the neighbors that I spoke to said that, in their opinion, if they were, the Bauer, the the feet, they probably wouldn't be able to sleep because of just like waiting for well, they're just, how can I say this?
FBI, open up!
Maybe that was better. That was probably it. Isn't CP working in Louisiana now? I don't know. I really haven't even checked, to be quite honest with you. It scares me every time. It scares a lot of people all the time. But that's just old Chrissy poo. Right?
FBI, open up! Stop it. Get some help.
Get some help. Right? Let's see here. What's this?
Yo.
Okay, that's it. Wrong one. You mother chicken, blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna. Sorry. Yeah, I wish they were more. Canvas, how are you, dear? The FBI thing made me jump. I'm awake. Canvas. You're funny as hell. People says that scares them all the time. I'm sure SCSO TBI have all set CP up, making him think he is a deputy. He came to YouTube with it. Now it's out there. I don't know. I just don't want it to be a Summer Wells. I don't want it to be a Summer Wells. No, Fundiski. A lot of people says, could he still be in that house? I would say it's close to 0. Close to 0. Ron Livingston. Ron Livingston. Oh. Is that who says that? FBI, open up. Let me see a photo of him. I don't really know him. But, I don't really watch a lot of movies either. CP talking and acting like he is the law enforcement. What he speaks, what the hell is like. He is as arrogant as they come. Just literally as arrogant as they come. FBI one makes me jump everything, then giggle weird. I don't know why. Cats at thumbs are funny. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to end it here. I'm at a little over 2 hours and 12 minutes. Thank you all so much for joining me. Oh, Canvas, you are so sweet. Thank you so much for giving 5. So sweet, honey. Thank you. Well, hold on. I got to stay here because of this. Let me beep, beep, mother chickens. Oh, I didn't do this earlier. I just now realized it. I did not do this earlier for Little Red either. Beep, beep, mother chickens. Get on the train. Let's go.
This is a Brooklyn-bound 2 express train. The next stop is Fulton Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
The lesser fight. My body aches to be satisfied. My weakness comes and goes. My weakness comes.
I want to thank Canvas and Crime. Thank you, sweetheart. Really do appreciate you very much for gifting 5 memberships. And thank you, Lorette, again for gifting the 10 earlier. I forgot to play that earlier. You guys are very sweet. Looking at all cameras, pieces together where people were. You listen, I can tell you that wherever Chris was that night, as far as they know where he was, as far as what city he was in, right? See your text from Trooper's mom, like in chat or on my phone. Let me see here. Oh, FSB. Craddock Cares. What's this? Craddock Cares. Craddock's Electrical Service. Our partnership with St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, one of Gary Craddock, senior owner, scheduled an estimate today. I think that, me too, JC. I think that it's not, if anyone knows anyone, I think it's the Bow Wows. Maybe know people. I don't think it's so much, Kahuni Chris. I think it's probably the Bow Wows, if anyone. Oh, really? Interesting. Terry to the Tooth Bower socks. I just got that. Listen, I'm really not trying to be mean. But if I had as much money as he did, I would fix it. Am I taller than CP? How tall is CP? I mean, I'm not tall, but I'm not as short as some of the YouTube men on here. I'll say that. If it's CP's cousin Danny who built. Yeah. Claims he's 5'9". Well, I am 5'9". Can't fix his personality, so why bother? Yeah. They probably legit hadn't. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm 5'9". Danny is Big D's dad. Big D has the moolah. Also claims a size 14 shoe. Oh, okay, so he's not 5'5", or he's not 5'9" then. You're not 5'9" with a 14 shoe. You look like literally a freaking clown. Right. Well, I'm the shortest one in my house. So, like, everyone in my house is very tall. So, I wear an 11.5 shoe. And I already look like a clown. I mean, really. I already look like a clown. And I'm perfectly content with it. So, there's that. Okay. That's my Dolly Parton fragrance. Not sponsored. But it smells good. Makes me feel like I'm nestled up to Dolly Parton. My son is 5'9", wears size 9 shoe. 4'9" with 6 foot son. Yeah. I love you too, Sandy. Oh, I mean, clown in a good way. I don't take it as a bad way. Dolly should pay me. You know, I'm not disagreeing with you. But it is what it is. It's what it is. You look like Dolly Parton, Lil Red. I love Dolly Parton. Thank you, troopers. Have you checked for quicksand? There are sand pits where I am from. They're notorious for disappearing things. They are, but also quicksand, I think after a while is going to, no matter it's the gases, it's really hard to keep someone down. Yes, she's very pretty. Aren't you, Dolly? My husband's sons, they wear 11 and a half shoe. Yeah. Sometimes I can fit a 12 even. But isn't quicksand in the desert? Quicksand's found all over the world. All over the world. Not just the desert. Yes, it's really funny. Small except bees. Yeah. Dolly is very tiny. And if you've ever seen her in person, she's so tiny. I mean, literally, her waist is like this big. Like, it's literally this big. I'm like her and Molly Golightly. I don't know how they stand. I mean, their backs must really hurt. Yeah, they're just so top heavy. You know, sinkholes are a big problem in Middle Tennessee. Yeah. Oh, yeah, she does look like a porcelain doll on stage. Um, I need to find a lot of my old Dolly videos and stuff, and we can. Well, I don't know. I might get copyrighted. I just thought of that. Oh yeah, she's always in stilettos. Dolly and Barbara Streisand. That's very interesting. I'm reading Barbara Streisand's book right now. Actually, it's very interesting you said that. Has keys for feet, size 11. My sister-in-law, she's really tall as well, and she wears an 11 women's. You know, like in women's shoes, I would wear like probably a 14. 14 wide. My granddad was 6'5". I don't know. See, I'm naturally really pale, like Dolly Parton pale. It's bad, but I don't like being that pale. I mean, I can make my skin look like porcelain too, but I just don't like it. I just don't like on me. Oh, thank you, Lolo. Really? I've got the audio and I've got the book. I love Barbara Streisand. My phone's about to die. Yeah. She's got a book. It's called My Name is Barbara. Yeah, Dolly's beautiful. Dolly can rock the pale. Dolly can rock the pale. She looks good pale, but I don't know. I just particularly don't think guys in particular look really good pale. Like I am fucking pale. Like it's bad. Really bad. Yep, she's in her 80s. Yeah, she's timeless. She's amazing. I mean, all the greats. All the greats. Cher's old. Tina Turner died. Dolly's up there. Dolly's 70. Dolly Parton 8. She's 78. Dolly's almost 80. Her husband's having health trouble right now. Carl. I'm like the Pillsbury Doughboy. Me too, troopers, but I see. I don't tan. I've had places taken off my back. Willie is ancient. Willie's got to be 90. Yeah. Willie's 91 years old. 91 years. All the icons of my mom's time are very old. And some, yeah. I actually thought about doing a channel about it, like the Hollywood greats. I really like old Hollywood. Very classy. This is Sent from Above. It's called Scent, Scent, from Above. But I was a big fan of Elizabeth Taylor. Huge fan of Elizabeth Taylor. Zsa Zsa Gabor. Some of y'all probably don't even know who the hell I'm talking about. That's who I named my dog after, Zsa Zsa Gabor. Huge fan of Dolly. All the greats. You love classic Hollywood. Yeah. Bette Davis. I huge fan of Katharine Hepburn. Love Katharine Hepburn. Love Elizabeth Taylor. Gotta love Elizabeth Taylor. She was amazing. Yeah, her sister Eva. Yeah. Audrey Hepburn, of course. Yeah. Did I tell you that's what I use? Because that's what I normally use. About Eve, like Eve, yeah. Montgomery Cliff, Green Acres. Katharine Hepburn, I loved her. I love Katharine Hepburn's speaking about her childhood. Her parents taught her to the freedom from fear. And I think that's very important to teach your children, not to be afraid of not so much, I mean, to be precautious, yes, but as far as things that they want to do, don't ever put a limit on yourself. Elizabeth Taylor was a huge, but I like learning about Coco Chanel and all that as well. Estee Lauder, Audrey Hepburn, beautiful, yeah, exactly. Susan Hayward, yes, love Susan Hayward. All right, guys, thank you all so much for joining me. Really do appreciate you. I love you guys. Y'all have a good night. Get some rest.